Back in 2018, I wasn't initially sold on Insomniac's Spider-Man game for the PS4. I was very skeptical even after all the trailers and gameplay and all the puddle drama, but then seeing them reveal a singular suit completely sold me on the game, and it just told me that this game was made by Spider-Man fans for Spider-Man fans. And yeah, it wasn't a gameplay feature or cool graphics, it was literally a story element they decided to do. And that's kind of a pattern with the original PS4 Spider-Man game, because it's full of those narrative choices that I know have probably given developers hell to implement, but they still did it to enrich this world and to show just how authentic of a Spider-Man experience they went and built. To reiterate, when this game was first announced, I personally was hyped. But then again, the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 Spider-Man games really weren't the best. The last genuinely good Spider-Man game that came out was Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions in 2010. And although some games afterward did have good elements, none of them were like universally praised as good games. And then we honestly didn't really get that much details. I know the first time we genuinely saw something in the PS4 Spider-Man game was on the reveal of PS4 Pro, where we just got kind of a detailed look at Peter's new advanced suit. And honestly, to me, that actually kind of hurt my image of the game, because that was a time when Tom Holland's Spider-Man started swinging around in the MCU, and that's when people really started to critique Tom Holland's suits, because they were full of those pen and lines, and in general people were critiquing MCU suits for adding like tactical gear, panel lines, this makes it modern. So seeing like a new suit that had all of those white armor elements at that point in time really took me out of it. And then again, couple that, we didn't hear anything about the game, but then we suddenly got a gameplay reveal, and honestly that was pretty awesome. Although of course there was a lot of controversies. People were criticizing the swinging speed, the web zip speed, and then also the whole stupid puddle drama that happened later on. And then even with all the story trailers, it seemed like it was gonna be good. Like definitely it had that PS4 era Sony quality to it. I wasn't so that it was gonna be like great or like a definitive version of the Spider-Man game. What did I say? And I had that thinking all the way up to the initial release. Now I don't remember what it was. It could have been a trailer, it could have been like a gameplay showcase, but if I remember correctly, I think it was one of those look at first 15 minutes of X game, probably on IGN, so IGN was actually useful, and they showed the first 15 minutes of the newest Spider-Man game, and in those 15 minutes Spider-Man didn't wear his new Insomniac suit, he was actually wearing his classic comic book suit. That blew my mind, and it looked so freaking good. Now I'm not saying this because I'm some kind of a purist that Spider-Man only needs to look a singular way, but they just told me that they are doing a faithful adaptation to the core of Spider-Man, and they're gonna make their own changes throughout the story. Just from that, I could already tell that, and yes, that's what happens. Every single thing that they change in these games that are kind of that derivative that deviates from the original source material or the fans' gospel that you must never change, it's all explained in the story. Like yeah, Spider-Man has his new suit, it gets ripped, has to get repaired. Dr. Octavius, who I will get to later on because he's also important to this video, he actually gives Spider-Man some tips to like put some extra armor on these parts, and that's how we got the new unique Spider-Man look, because of course whenever you're making a Spider-Man you want to make him unique, you want to make him your own, and this was amazing. It was generally the most perfect way you can do it. And the whole game is like that, like half of the features, half of the gadgets, half of the web swinging is explained through the story. Learning his suit being more technical, him, I don't know, mastering these things. It's not just like, oh, you want to do a certain web swinging move, well, Peter never thought of it. No, it's explained how he can do it like now as compared to later. I love it. I love when studios do that, when they enhance the story by explaining their own lore, but they're using the lore from the comic books, movies, whatever. And that actually brings me to my favorite point that proves this, or that uses these methods, and that's with the main villain of the game, Dr. Octopus. Because you meet him in the game and he's super friendly. He's your mentor, you work with him, he's your boss, and he's great. He has a noble calling, he's struggling just like Peter. And then, you know, at first you're like, oh, okay, so are they changing it so Doc Ock is a good guy here? But no, like every time you think it's going someplace, some derivative, different way, it goes back to the original roots to the characters. Like for example, Doc Ock has a lot of iterations throughout the years, but the core trait is that he's supposed to be a mirror to Peter Parker. Not Spider-Man, Peter Parker. A scientist who struggles through life and then goes through a scientific experiment gone wrong and then uses his brilliant mind for crime and not for fighting crime like Spider-Man does. And this game does that also perfectly, since there is a specific scene where you see Dr. Octavius strapped to all of these tubes and you're just like, oh, he's gonna become a villain and he's gonna be so tragic. And that's exactly what happens. It's not like a big twist that happens out of nowhere, but you see this man and you're like rooting for him to succeed, and slowly throughout the game you see him lose his mind more and more and more until it's revealed that yeah, he's become a complete villain. And even better thing is he's completely unredeemable, even on a personal level to Peter Parker, but in like general scheme because he released a pandemic on like 8 million people in New York. And even in the end he doesn't have any moment of like, oh man, I really screwed up, I'm so sorry. No, he lies to Peter, tries to save himself to the very last minute, and even now when we saw him in the sequel, he's still plotting to destroy Spider-Man's life. I mean, Blood hates Spider-Man so much that at one point in comics he switched minds with Peter Parker just to prove that he can be a better Spider-Man, and he ended up killing the real Spider-Man who was trapped in Dr. Octavius' body, and then Dr. Octavius with his mind in Spider-Man's body went on to become a Spider-Man. Yeah, comic books are weird as shit, but they're so fucking awesome. And it does seem like that is what Oda is planning for the Marvel Spider-Man 3 game, and if that happens and is adapted well, that is gonna be like my favorite game of all time. Like, that's just so perfect. And this one thing, like just revealing a singular costume that I didn't even end up wearing throughout the whole story, just sold me and told me what kind of a game it was. And I just wanted to do this video to kind of look back and see just how great the original Spider-Man PS4 game was.